Hey there, fans in Comic Land. It's Leela here from the Comic Connection with this week's comic book reviews. First up, we've got Batman Odyssey #2 by Neil Adams. In this one, Bruce continues to relate the story of one of his early missions and how he was pumped full of bullet holes and almost died. So I'm really enjoying this series. It's graphically stunning, it's stunningly graphic, and I love how Adams breaks the fourth wall all the time and talks directly to the reader. It's a really satisfying series so far, and it's pretty much the only Batman one that I'm really enjoying right now. Next up, we've got Superman Last Family of Krypton, #1 of 3 by Cary Bates and Renato Arlim. In this Elseworlds tale, Kal-El is not the only survivor from Krypton to call Earth home. His parents make the trip with him, and Kal-El's history, as we know it, is changed. I love this, but I'm a big fan of Elseworlds stuff in general. There's good art and story in this. This could be another classic one on par with Superman Red Son, which I really loved. I think this is going to be a new favorite Superman story for me, so make sure that you pick it up. Next up, we've got Shadowland #2 by Andy Diggle and Billy Tan. In this one, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and more confront Matt about his methods, and a force of vengeance is summoned, and Matt loses it when there's an attempted jailbreak from the Shadowland dungeons. So I've got to say, I'm kind of liking Shadowland. Exploring the dark side of Matt Murdock is really interesting, and begs the question, do you have to have a dark side to become a masked vigilante? Or do you just get one after you become one? And last, and certainly least, is Amazing Spider-Man #639 by Joe Quesada, Paulo Rivera, and more. So in this one, Peter and MJ rehash the past about what happened the day that they didn't get married, and how they got back together, and his unmasking, and Aunt May getting shot. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. I thought that was all undone and that Peter didn't remember at the very least. Maybe MJ remembers, but I thought Peter didn't remember. So color me confused and pissed off about what's going on in Spider-Man right now. I didn't think I could hate the whole One More Day thing any more than I do right now. Let's just get back to the regular Spider-Man stuff. Like the Kraven storyline that was before this was pretty cool, and I'm just hating Spider-Man all over again. See you next week, guys.
First up this week, we have Marvelous Land of Oz, #8, written by Eric Shanower with art by Scotty Young. In this one, the evil witch Mombi is found and forced to reveal the location of the long-lost Ozma. I like this series. It's okay. It's not great. It's certainly not as great as David Hutchison's Oz manga series, and I certainly don't like Scotty Young's art. I would have preferred Eric Shanower over Scotty any day, but Scotty can do in a pinch. It's okay. If you're a fan of Oz, you might like it. Next up, we have Grimm Fairy Tales, the Swimsuit Edition, written and drawn by various artists from Zenoscope. And in this one, basically various pinups of the Grimm girls and short stories. Now, as always, the art's simply gorgeous, but the stories kind of, well, you know, lack. Next up, we have Zombies vs. Cheerleaders, Geektacular, #1, written and drawn by various. And this one, which features 3 stories of the undead facing off with cheerleaders, the 3 geeks, and more, I really enjoyed 2 out of the 3 stories. The 3 Geeks story was pretty damn funny, and the story Birthday Death Day was also really hilarious with a few Evil Dead references mixed in. If you're a fan of zombie-type books, you're going to like this. This is a lot of fun. And last, and certainly not least, is The Story of O, written and drawn by Guido Crepax. And in this one, it's the story of a woman's complete and willing submission to those around her. If you've ever seen the original book, The Story of O, well, you know what you're getting into when you read this. It's adult, it's very graphic, it's a very interesting story from beginning to end, and it's a little different ending than the actual book, so if you want to see something that's a little different, a little more adult, you might want to try this. We'll see you next week.